Very good.
Did you get that, Jamie?
Polly, pull up a picture of a quacker. Do you remember when Marco said that?
No.
Well,
Did he? All right.
are we waiting to crack these on air?
We're on it.
Are these on? Is it recording?
Yeah, it's recording over there. This is the run sheet.
But where's the audio recording to? Into here?
Into there. This is my run sheet.
What?
What do you mean, what?
Fuck, I had no clue.
Yeah.
I thought we were waiting.
No. Oh,
This is all usable, right?
Yeah, we're on. Oh, hey.
Oh, there you go.
Hello and welcome to the TTMK podcast. My name's Sean. Joining me today is the one and only Mr. Binky. Mr. Binky, my man. How are we?
Yeah, good then. Where's Mr. Binky from? What account? Yeah, but what platform?
Your original Twitter.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been legit years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
It's just always stuck, you know?
Yeah. I'm Mr. Lukas on Instagram as well. And people will often, if it's the first time we're messaging on Instagram, they'll message me as Mr. Lukas. And every time I think it's the funniest thing.
Yeah,
It's just a silly thing to call someone.
Yeah.
Mr. or Miss and then their first name.
Well, yeah, that's, you know how Sheen, my name is Sheen.
Yeah.
That's because I changed, you know how this story happened. I changed my name during the cricket season to SEAM as opposed to SEAN. Yeah, Shorm. But it meant seam, like the seam of a cricket ball. Because I was playing cricket, and so I'll message seam. It's something stupid as. And then I met this guy, he was a friend of a friend, and he was like, oh, Sheen? And I was like, what? He goes, I've got you on Facebook, Sheen. I'm like, oh, no, that's totally incorrect. And it's just, that's how it happened.
So you were friends of this person on Facebook before in real
I
life?
was in the Thought Share group. You know,
Oh my God. Have you met one of them organically?
I've met most of them organically now, I think.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, yeah.
Are they part of a friendship group or are they all random?
Yeah, most of them Joe's mates.
Ah, I see.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that we got to the bottom of the, what are they called? What's it called? Epistemology?
Sure.
The history of the word.
Yeah, the word shame.
I had a very good one about broadcast and podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember it though, but it's both to do with beans.
Really?
Yeah, broadcast was like the way they planted the seeds was they used a broadcast, and I don't know why they used that for television afterwards. There and after.
Yeah.
But then they used it for podcast as well, and then pod came from bean, and then cast came from broadcast, which came from bean. So podcast means bean.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah,
that's
there you
really
go.
cool. But podcast when it started was. Is this the most podcast thing you can talk about? Yeah, this is
Topic.
TTT. Yeah, let's not go on with that. The NBA where
It's back and firing.
it started last Wednesday. Today is Friday as we're
First
recording.
episode, yeah.
First episode.
Have
of
you
the
done an
NBA.
episode since?
No, man, because I was.
Is this the first episode since?
This is the first episode of any
Holy
podcast
fucking
since. Yeah, man. So yeah, I was in Newcastle away for work, so that's why I didn't do a pod. And yeah, just bloody, it's just all happened, you know. And here I am. I reckon this is the latest I've recorded a pod since I've been doing the Deep to NBA podcast about the NBA. Like this is 9 days in.
9 days in. Yeah, 9 days in, and the Cavs have played 5 games.
Serious? That's crazy to think about.
5-0, but like, why 5?
Well, now, the obvious answer is that's how many games they've played. What's the answer you're looking for?
It's not. It's been 9 days. Why the fuck are they playing 5 games? It's just like what?
Yeah.
What? I've got an article that I've sent you that's soon to come out. But there's just too many games.
Yeah.
It's like how none of them mean anything.
Yeah.
What does 5-0 mean?
Yeah, well,
You know?
they beat a couple of good teams. Jamie, pull that number up.
Oh, yeah.
They're playing Orlando tomorrow.
So that'll be a big one.
Well, it won't because Paolo Banchero. Let's start there. Paolo Banchero out with was like a muscle injury or
Left
something.
knee soreness.
Left knee soreness. The wind knocked out of him. Yeah, he's out for 4 to 6 weeks. Now, Paolo Banchero, it was extremely early, but like there was an extremely early MVP race, and he was coming 3rd or 4th, right?
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
50 burger.
50 burger, yeah. First,
Really awesome.
First magic 50 burger since Penny Hardaway. The original Penny Hardaway.
Yeah, right.
Not
Tim Penny Hardaway.
Tim
Gotcha.
Penny. But Tim Penny, isn't that... It'll come to me. There's a
Or one of the talk to a guest.
I tell you what, if the Rizzler ever goes on Talk Tour, that's it. Forget about it, man.
Would you listen to the episode?
I don't know. I haven't seen the Jimmy Fallon thing. Have you seen Jimmy Fallon?
No, but I actually keep meaning to watch it. It's got to be good.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Apparently, he just keeps cutting them off when they do the boom.
Really?
Yeah.
What, like,
because he's just like, okay, we'll keep moving on. He's like, doesn't like it. And someone on Twitter was just like, I hope you die an excruciating death and burn in hell for interrupting this like beautiful moment in their life. Anyway, Paolo Banchero out. So like the Magic were like cruising. Now like they were 3-2, but like they looked really good. Paolo Banchero in the MVP discussion. And maybe this is like, Paolo's here. Also, still in his rookie deal.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I know it makes sense, but it's like, man, it's his third year. Like he's played 2 seasons, which is pretty insane.
True. Still 2 years on his rookie deal.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And yeah, like he was dribbling the ball down the court. Obviously, with Orlando, the big discussions being like, can they get like an impact ball handler? Can Jalen Suggs be that impact ball handler? But this season, they were very much just like, okay, Paolo friends, you're splitting the ball handling duties. Jalen Suggs, who I have on my fantasy team, just hasn't averaged 35 points per game yet, and I don't think he will. I think he's going to continue to be like a spot-up shooter, defense first guy. Are you hiding something from me because you got good trivia?
In a second, yeah.
Right. But yeah, it's just a little bit sad. Like the East is wide open. Like we talked about in the group chat today. Like Boston obviously running away with it, unless Al Horford gets on that plane, that's going to crash. The Warriors, which is just with no context, doesn't make sense. But Bucks obviously look horrible, and every time
bad.
Every time you pan to Doc Rivers, he's just like, oh. The Philadelphia 76ers, they've actually got 3 really good players. We've only seen 1 at the moment. That being Tyrese Maxey. Poor guy, man. Like some of the fucking lineups he's playing with.
It's like game 74 starting lineup, not game 1.
Yeah, and you're tanking. Yeah, so like the East is like Cavs. I think the Cavs are really going to like put their foot down this season with the continuity, which we'll talk about later. Put their foot down as like a definite top 4 seed. But like the Magic, it was there for the taking. Like if you get off to a hot start, win your matchups. Like I think the Magic could have been there, and you have to assume they're gonna wilter without Paolo. Like I don't think there's much going on the roster. Like
points wise.
Which for a team that's like struggles with points in the first place. Like
assume that's a team that struggles with points and Paolo's adding 50 off.
Yeah. And it's like who's starting at the 4 now? Because they've got Goga, they've got Wendell Carter. Maybe Wendell's going to be at the 4. John Isaac can't play many minutes just because of his body, so he's always going to be a backup 15 to 20 minutes. So it's like, do you start Goga at the 5 and Wendell at the 4, or you can't push Franz down?
I don't think you want to start Wendell and Goga. I don't think that's...
Well, because then you've got Mo Wagner off the bench as your centre.
Yeah, but...
They've got a lot of bigs.
They do. Well, and that was my trivia question, was how many nationalities are on this team?
Right. Everywhere, not just the bigs.
Total, all around in the team.
Goga is Georgian.
Mm-hmm.
There's an American somewhere. Let's say Jalen Suggs. Are we calling Paolo Italian?
Nah.
No, well, so Paolo American. The Germans. Yeah, the Germans. So 3. Cole Anthony's American because he played for the USA select team.
Right. I don't know if I can... I think you can finish your answer whenever you want.
Are there only 3?
Well, I don't want to say anything.
Is Chuma Okeke still in the team? And is he from like Cameroon or something?
Chuma Okeke is not on the team anymore and don't know where he's from.
No, I'm out.
There's 4. You got 3.
Hang on, is Suggs Canadian?
No, but Corey Joseph and Caleb Houston are.
Yeah.
They're comprised of 4 nationalities.
Wow.
And multiple of all of them except the Georgian, which I think we can...
It's him and Zaza. Exact same player as well.
Zaza, go. Yeah.
Sounds like the bloody Wizards G League team, mate.
Yeah. The team needs to add 2 25-point per game scorers on top of what they already have without Paolo.
Yeah.
So where's that coming from?
Yeah.
Because I feel like last year you could watch the Magic and you're like, I understand what's going on here.
Yeah.
You guys are going to just knuckle down defensively. You're going to try and run and transition as much as a team with, you know, slow pace in 2023 can run in. And you're going to go to Paolo pretty much every half court set. And then the next progression after that is like, all right, what's the next step offensively? How can we cause even more chaos defensively? How can we bring the game to the other team more? And yeah, who can multiple people pop up for 18 a night, or is that going to be someone that, you know, brings themselves, like, is that going to be one player that's going to be like, cool, I'm your 20-point scorer at night? And now with the Paolo injury, and with the fact that it didn't really look like, it just looked like last year's season times 1.1. Now it's like, oh, we actually kind of do have to take a step back to see what this team looks like without Paolo, and we probably need a player to take the lead. Like, we need a player that's going to take this team. Is it Franz?
I don't know. He sort of had a down year last year, and he's not really that guy. Keep paying him like he is. Like, they gave him like the Heath Supermax, which was quite incredible. But like, I'd say he's a passer first, more opportunistic with the ball. I think it has to be Jalen Suggs. Obviously they've got KCB, but he's again just off ball. It has to be Jalen Suggs. Jalen Suggs has to, you know, he was drafted 4th out of Gonzaga as like the go-to ball handler. He has to.
I thought that was their backup center.
he has to become that. He has to do it. And this is probably the worst opportunity to do it because the spacing is just going to be a little worse. But like, the opportunity is going to be there. The shots are there to go around.
Mac McClung?
No.
Will he crack the rotation now, do you reckon?
He's a 2-way, so he's can only
Got to get called up.
Yeah, he's got to get called up.
Yeah.
And you're not bringing in a 6'2" guy for your 6'9" forward's injury.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, looking up and down this roster, like the next guy after Jalen Suggs that I'm like, go get me a bucket, is probably Corey Joseph.
You know, Cole Anthony first.
You're right.
He wore Tim's to the dunk contest.
Did he have a 50-point game?
Maybe. Who?
But I don't know. Oh, yeah, true. You're definitely right. Also, I'm liking here Trevelyan Queen's colleges. He went to 4 colleges. Wow. He went to 3 colleges.
Yeah. Can you name them? No, I don't.
I won't.
Should we move on? Any final Paolo comments?
Yeah. Gun.
Yeah, seriously.
Just dead set gun.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like there's a lot of young players get hypes coming into the league, and it's just like, they end up probably taking 4 or 5 or 6 years, but he's just not one of those players. And I feel like that's been more of the trend recently. And it's just been like, yeah, it's just a gun already.
All right,
cool.
Before we move on, I'm just going to double check that we're recording.
You want to talk WNBA? Maybe some WNBL? Australian Opals chat? Heck, even dabble in some EuroLeague? Find the W Basketball Show on the Deep 2 Podcast Network. And we're back.
So
Should we stay at the top of the East?
Well, I was going to run through. I want to talk about the best lineups in the NBA right now. Do you want to go through, or do you want to talk about the Cavs?
I think I'm not as energized to talk about the Cavs as you are.
Oh, I don't think I'm very energized to talk about the Cavs at all.
Oh, you aren't?
Yeah, I'm more,
thank God.
Oh, yeah. No, don't worry, brother. I'm more just sort of like patting him on the back for continuity and being like,
yeah, well, that was my whole thing, was going to be, this is the time they win their games.
God, let's say what we would say so much that we all say it, and then,
No, because now we can just speed through the Cavs.
Yeah.
So 3 meaningless wins to start the season.
Yeah.
They beat the Lakers. Bronny got his first points.
Yeah.
That was, as bad as it could have gone.
They beat the Bucks?
And they beat the Bucks.
Yeah.
Oh, let's double check that it was the Bucks. But they beat the Knicks.
Yeah, that was a big win.
Yeah.
In New York.
Yeah. The Mecca. Yeah. But it's the start of the season, it's continuity. I legit don't know any single player in their rotation that wasn't in their rotation last year.
Yeah.
And they're just doing what they should be doing.
Ty Jerome.
And fucking hell, he scored so many points against the Lakers.
Yeah.
So did Dalton connect.
Yeah. Ty Jerome had this really nice where like someone was driving, he caught it, he pump faked, and then as the defender's rushing out to him, he like took one big step forwards and passed it around him to the corner.
Oh yes, was this in garbage time?
Maybe. Yeah.
This is in the fourth quarter?
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Great pass.
Yeah, but it's like if he can pop up and just like
Be a backup.
if he can be a guy you bring in when you're 16 points up at the start of the quarter, and then he just keeps it at 16, that's awesome for the team.
Yeah. I think also a big thing is that Darius Garland can macerate food before eating it.
Yeah.
No, is it masticate?
Masticate. I learned it off the Big Bang Theory.
No, I learned it off. I was writing an article and
I mistyped something.
No, I was writing an article and the title was going to be "There's more than one way to skin a cat," and I was like, that's a little bit gross. So I was looking at like synonyms for that saying, and I was like, more than one way to like eat an elephant, and then I was like, let's get silly with this. So I was like, I just went off thesaurus and typed in eat, and then and it was like masticate. Did you get yours from Big Bang Theory?
Yeah, I got mine from Big Bang Theory. The kid,
young Sheldon.
What are the best lineups in the AFL?
In the AFL.
Oh god, in the NBA.
I'll sit here and I'll name 22 straight players four times. Yeah, so before today's games, we have a sample size as big as 5. I'm guessing as low as 3, maybe as low as 4.
Before today.
Yeah. So I've got the best and worst lineups, and then we can just talk about them. If you want to butt in, say anything, or if you want to talk about it afterwards. So.
Are we saying 5-player lineups?
Yeah, 5-player lineups. I've got 3 under 5 categories. So the first one is the league's best lineups in points per 100 possessions as of yesterday. Number 1, Jamal Murray, Christian Brown, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic.
Wow.
League's best lineup in terms of scoring the basketball.
Yeah.
Second, Drew Holiday, White, Brown, Tatum, Horford.
Yeah.
Third, Van Vliet, Green, Brooks, Smith, and Şengün.
Okay.
Which definitely passes the pub test or the eye test. Jalen Green is doing the thing where he hits shots at the end of the season, but he's doing it at the start of the season.
Yeah.
All right. So the league's best lineups in terms of point differential.
Yeah.
Number 1, Fox, Herter, DeRozan, Murray, Sabonis.
Wow.
They have lost. They're 2-2, and they've lost 2 games by like a combined 5 points. It was like 2 points to the Lakers, 3 to the Wolves. Second best in point differential: Van Vliet, Green, Brooks, Smith, Şengün.
Wow.
Third in point differential: Holiday, White, Brown, Tatum, or Horford.
Wow, I really just would have thought that Boston would have been first in all of those.
No, Boston, they've got a few good lineups that are up.
That's right. Yeah.
It's like, okay, sub out Peyton Pritchard, who one of his 4 games that he played, he scored 28 points or 38 points or whatever stupid number it was. So it's like their lineups are they're littered throughout the top 10.
It's like when Joel Corey and Corey Enright and stuff are stealing votes from Gary Ablett in the fucking 07 Brownlow or some shit, and then Bartel bloody ended up winning them, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
This is the league's best lineups in terms of opponents' points per possessions, right? So defense. Number 1, Fox, Herter, DeRozan, Murray, Sabonis.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have picked that.
Nah, neither would I. Second, Russell, Reeves, Hachimura, James, and Davis.
Wait.
So this is positive for the team.
Wow.
So these are the best 2 defensive lineups of the Kings and the Lakers.
I can't believe Russell, James, and Hachimura are in that.
Yeah.
I feel like AD's probably doing some heavy lifting.
Yeah. I mean, you haven't mentioned Reeves, but we can probably like him in the first part. He's a guy.
But he's probably better than those other 3.
Third best at limiting the opponent's points: Giddey, White, Levine, Williams, and Vooch.
Yeah, they're known for that as well.
It's absolutely not.
That's crazy.
Fourth, Van Vliet, Green, Brooks, Smith, Şengün.
So you reckon it's Rockets with the chip?
According to the first week of data. Worst lineups in the league. The league's worst lineups in scoring points per 100 points per possessions: Giddey, White, Levine, Williams, Vooch.
Wow. So, is this like minimum minutes played as well?
Yeah. Minimum. I did write that. Minimum 100 possessions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So probably talking about like 60 lineups.
Yeah. Most of these lineups, like
starters.
Yeah, most of the starters have like 200, 270 possessions. Second worst: Rozier, Hero, Butler, Jovic, and Adebayo for points scored.
Yeah, I did not know what team that was until you said Adebayo, which is crazy.
And then third worst for points scored: Harden, Mann, Powell, Jones Jr., and Zubac.
Yeah, you watch much Clippers?
Well, I've actually, because the Western Conference, right? So it's like, there's a game on at 1:30 or 2:30.
Yeah.
It happens to be the team with the weird logo now with the boat on it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll watch them. So I've actually watched 3 games.
Yeah. And they're sitting pretty.
I'm not surprised that they're not scoring a lot of points. Obviously, third worst starting lineup, but it is a bit shocking that they're doing so well and they're winning so many games. I've written.
They're 2-3.
They're 2-3, but before when I was writing this, they were 2-2. Right? Well, they beat the Nuggets.
Yeah,
and the Lakers beat the Supersonics. But I dug a little deeper. Obviously, not good if your team that like you look at that lineup where it's like Harden, Powell, right? It's like, okay, this is an offensive lineup.
Yeah.
Zubac with like a fucking 20, 15, and 7 the other day against someone, but actually they lost to the Trailblazers, didn't they?
Yeah, I was watching that game. It was a good Schadenfreude game for me because I'm sure we'll get onto the Wizards. You didn't mention them, which means we're just middle of the pack for everything, which is good so far. But it's so good that we got rid of Denny. It's so much better. It's actually way better than... I was so hard on him, and it's actually... I don't think I was hard enough. Like, we're in such a better position right now, and I'm sure we'll get to the Wizards, but as you were.
So league's worst lineups in terms of opponents, points per 100 possessions: Ivy, Cunningham, Hardaway Jr., Harris, and Duran. Second worst lineup in terms of opponents' points per possessions: Rozier, Hero, Butler, Jovic, Adebayo.
Yeah, there you go.
Third worst: Harden, Mann, Powell, Jones Jr., Zubac.
Yeah, there you go.
So the starting lineup for the Clippers is one of the worst starting lineups in the NBA so far.
Yeah.
So
4 games in.
I dug a little deeper. Porter Jr., Chris Dunn and Nicholas Batum have like a plus 50 expected wins to their name right now. They are like individually. They are like...
What do you think about Bald Dunn?
Bald Dunn should have happened earlier.
What do you think about Bald Kai Jones?
he needs to grow hair. He's
Bald Kai Cenat Jones.
Kai Cenat Jones, huh? Yeah. I mean, I've seen him around. Yeah. Kai Jones has been all right. Been all right at basketball, which is good to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Nick Batum's just like one of the best players on plus minus at the moment.
Yeah.
I have actually gotten down every player's plus minus, and I'll get to that in a second. But actually, let's get to right now. Player data. So last year, Nikola Jokic was like third in the league, but he led the league out of players who had played like a serious amount of minutes. He had a plus 23.7 differential, right? So when Jokic was on the court, the team was 23 points better.
Yeah.
So Jokic led the league among guys with like 1,000 minutes. This year, the current leader before today's games is Royce O'Neal with a plus 63.5.
He loves an early season push. I remember on the Nets team with KD, Kyrie, and I think Ben Simmons' value was relatively high for him. I think Royce O'Neal got a triple-double in like the third game of the season, and I think it was against the Blazers potentially, but he was like holding the team together, and it was like, oh, they can win a championship. Like if they've got one of these guys, there's you know,
the Finney Smiths and the
Iguodala. I was thinking more of the Iguodala. It was like Finney Smith, but there's stats along with it. I was like, oh, they've got that guy, and they've got the stars, so they can just figure it out.
Royce O'Neal hit a go ahead bucket today to put the Clippers away, and like he hit the shot. Then he looked at the bench. He looked like the fans behind him, and like said some stuff. Ran over to the bench, like his own bench, and sort of did one of these ones, like right to one of his coaches, and it's like, yeah, you're leading the league in point differential. Have some fun for the first couple of weeks. Second in point differential, Rui Hachimura plus 52.8.
Wow.
Third,
good on you, Rui.
Christian Brown plus 48 for the Denver Nuggets, who are struggling to win. All the way down to 8th, Bilal Coulibaly plus 35.1.
Did you see the Hawks brought out a new Coulibaly Jr. jersey? Number 11?
Yeah.
Did you see the Coulibaly Trae Young minutes? I'm sure you did. Oh my God, bro. Back on the Wizards for a second.
Yeah, no, we actually haven't started on the Wizards.
BC Fresh. In year 2 is like maybe 3 tiers above Denny. Kispert, as a toolsy role player that has a skill set and is another wing. Coulibaly is also a wing. A tier above Denny. Alexandre Sarr. I mean, he's hit a few threes he's hit multiple threes in multiple games, and he's just such a good defender. He's bringing like multiple skill sets, and it's just like awesome. I'm so glad we have a project during our rebuilding phase, one that looks like that is like this, a footer as well. Already better than Denny. But Harrington looks confident shooting the ball.
16 points the other day.
Oh, 16, 6, and 6. Genuinely, like, if Denny did that.
Halloween. Oh, yeah, if Denny did
that, the Wizards have been posting about it for like 3 weeks. And Kai Sean George is like just the least offensive 24th pick of all time. Yeah. And we've just got all this like young crop that are all better than Denny. Also, like, not just... Maybe some of them aren't as good as him yet, but they're gonna be better than him. I'm certain of that. But just the way it feels to have them on the team, and like what their role in the franchise and their role moving forward is so like, it's so defined, and it's like fresh, and it's hopeful, and it's just such a good position to be in. And it's like, God damn, if there are any GMs listening to this and you're thinking of rebuilding, do it. I couldn't recommend it more.
That's so funny.
Don't meddle in mediocrity, man. It's like, it's just a waste of time. You're tagging together all these average teams so you can fucking keep your job. Get rid of Beal and then just start a team where you can build something, because it feels so good.
That's so funny.
Because we're gonna fuck it up in a few years anyway. But we don't know that yet.
Yeah, no, you'll get like the glimpse of goodness, and then you're like, Martian Gortat's like the 16th best big. Let's bring him in. Like you'll bring in Wendell Carter Jr. 2 years from now.
Throw the bag at him.
Yeah. But enjoy now. Like, honestly, as someone who enjoys watching my team play basketball, it's great to see other people enjoy their team play basketball.
Who did you go for?
I go for the Golden State Warriors. See, I was at opening night in 2008.
Yeah, how old were you then? 12?
10. I wasn't there.
Oh, yeah, 10. That's right. What was the atmosphere like?
Oh, bro, fuck. They talk about Chase, right? And they're like, like the acoustics are made to be better in Chase, but it's just not the same as Oracle. We used to call it Roracle because it was always roaring.
Yeah, and it was like the Intuit Dome wall before the Intuit Dome wall.
Yeah. It was like, imagine a wall, but it's more slanted so like everyone can view the court. It's great. It's actually a good idea.
Imagine Coburg show court, but like way bigger.
Show court. No, imagine court one. Court one where they pushed the chair. God, hey, they were the years. We're actually back there. Not an Oracle, where we're back to the top. Golden State, same record as the Boston Celtics, who everyone wants to fucking talk about, huh?
Hield, 4-1.
Buddy Hield leading the team in scoring. I think a cheeky like 22, 23. What button did you press to open new tab?
Command.
Wow. Command.
And you know how to open and close tab?
No, I've never had to do that. But tell me.
Command Shift T.
Wow,
that'll change your life. Accidentally. I always open a new tab because I used to accidentally scroll back and forward. And so I always open a new tab so I can't scroll back and forward.
Can we go back to before we start talking about the Warriors? Because I know that's why the fans do tune in, just to hear Sean talk about the Warriors. And God, what a great time to talk about the Warriors. Can we talk about your Wizards? I haven't watched a single Wizards game this season, right?
Yeah.
And Jordan Poole looks like he's doing good. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Like, he was the 6th best player on the title team.
Yeah, I was watching some Poole Warriors highlights, and he's nowhere near as good as that. He was so good.
He was so good. Remember,
ridiculous.
In 2022, Clay was injured for the first 6 months until he dunked on the Cavs, right? Jordan Poole was starting at the 2 and averaging over 20 points a game. Isn't that insane?
Yeah, but he was on dog shit efficiency.
It was fun.
Wasn't like
it was fun.
30-20.
Because that was the year that we played the Lonzo Ball Bulls at the start of the season, and it was like Lonzo Ball's last game. We just didn't know it at the time. Anyway, but Wizards, right? Wizards. Tell me about the team, and then when we talk about the over-unders, because you and I spoke about Dante and I's over-unders later on, and you did your own with a couple of your mates, and you're like, oh man, this team's not winning 20 games.
Oh, the draft. No, I don't do the drafts.
But you know of it. Yeah.
I know what it is. I've gotten rid of all the accessory stuff with basketball. I just got to watch it. I don't want anything out of it.
I don't want to root for Jalen Duren to get 5 assists one night, does it? But do you feel like at the moment you got a 500 winning percentage, right? Are you going to win 20 games?
Oh, nah. Like, we're we're top of the we're 100. We're what would you call it? 500. We're 1,000 if you include if you only include the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah,
and we're
true,
at
true.
0 versus the rest of the league.
True.
And it's good that we have the team's number, and I'm happy that it's the Hawks. It's really quite satisfying to beat them. But yeah, we got blew out by the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers, the league leading Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
And then we beat ATL on a back-to-back, home and home.
Yeah.
But like the Brian Keith, who I actually thought his name was Ryan Keith. I'm not even joking.
Really? I thought that was a bit.
No, dude. I thought that was his name since we hired him.
Holy shit.
Like maybe a week ago.
Remember I quoted you on that clip for the Deep 2, and I edited it, and I was like, oh, this is quite funny. He's like called it. It's such a Lukas thing just to like call someone a different name.
Yeah. Like, I thought his name was Ryan Keith.
All right.
Brian Keith. It's very clear that the team is... it's about individual development, and it's about bringing that individual development together, and it's about individual development and being a good teammate.
Yeah,
that's legit. That's the whole MO.
It's just guys being dudes.
It's guys being dudes, but in
Joe House was on
towards in a direction.
Joe House. Can you do a good Joe House impersonation?
Oh, I haven't listened to him in years.
Yeah, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. He's like,
he sounds like
that. Yeah, but he's just like, I love this. I can't do it, man. But he says, I love this team. Like, he's like, JV came off the bench and he's out there and he's like coaching dudes in real time while the possession's like active.
Yeah.
Thankfully, like he grabs Alex Sarah and he's like, no, you got to angle your body this way on a screen. And it's like Jordan Poole's dribbling, like trying to get a shot. And he's like, that's great. This is what we've needed. Check back in 4 years.
Yeah. I love when they have him on the show. And you just don't know if he's on sometimes.
Yeah.
There'll be like 30 minutes before, like between him even being prompted, and then there's like Bill Simmons is like, well, what about this? And then Russillo's like, oh, fuck you, Bill.
Yeah, and then Joey House just plays solitaire on his other monitor.
And he plays it well. What other questions do you have about my... No, we have a Villanova kid, by the way.
Who?
Sadiq Bey. Has he checked in yet?
I don't know. Also 50 burger. Unlike Cole Anthony, who didn't. So, yeah, are you going to win over 20 games? No, you're actually so right. Because I look at the ladder and I go, the ladder. I look at the standings, I go, oh, fuck, 2-2. Like, God, early season push. But no, you just put the best, lankiest defender on Trae Young. It worked incredibly. And without Trae Young, like, what are the Hawks? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Koulibaly fucking destroyed him.
The Hawks are actually, the Hawks are a little bit worrying. I was quite high on them in the over-unders. I was picking them to maybe get into the top 6. Dyson Daniels is starting at the 2 as the stopper, and he's doing a good job as the stopper, but then they've got no backup point guard. It's, Kobe Buffkin's out for a couple of weeks now, but it's like, who's he anyway? Yeah,
there's no real threat, you know?
Yeah.
Jalen Johnson will get his fair share of, cuts and points against...
Can I butt in and say that if Jonathan Kuminga had any stats near what fucking Jalen Johnson's had this year, you wouldn't hear the end of it.
Yeah. From you?
From me.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason he doesn't.
But yeah, he's not very good.
Yeah, so he didn't play the last game.
No, he did play.
He did play.
Yeah. So let's not talk about Jonathan Kuminga. The Warriors,
so into that.
Everything's going good for the Warriors.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about him.
So if I got a question for you. If Bilal Coulibaly is averaging 19 points on 42% from the 3, and then 2 stocks and 3 assists, that doesn't even bring him close to being an all-star, does it? I was going to say, could he be most improved? Well, but it's year 2 as well. They don't really give it to year 2 guys.
Are you gonna play the Hawks like 17 more times?
We're gonna hope we have some sort of like a Blazers Rockets thing with the Wizards and the Hawks.
The Blazers, everyone. All right. What other stuff's been going on?
There's about 29 more teams to go.
So the Bulls, 8th in D, 25th in offense.
Yeah.
Zach LaVine is actually one of the best high volume scorers in the league right now. He's achieving, let's say, 133.7 points per 100 shots. Mm-hmm. The only player with more than 140 minutes with more than 140 minutes to eclipse Zach LaVine's number is Sabonis, Lillard, White, Holiday, Randall, Schroeder, and Allen.
It's a lot of players.
That's a lot of
His
bigs.
teammate.
What? White?
Oh,
no, Derek White.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else going on?
Have you watched much Bulls?
No, it's another team. There's a few teams in the East that it's like, man, their game starts at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. I've got work to do. I'll tune in at the 2:30 games. And unfortunately, the Wizards and Bulls being on the East are always
Fortunately,
like
I think.
Have you watched any? Bulls?
Yeah, I've caught a glimpse. I haven't seen any Alonzo Ball minutes yet, but fuck, man, I actually can't picture any of the other Bulls players, but I have seen some Zach LaVine minutes, and he looks very, very good. He looks like he's in good nick, and
seriously,
scoring looks really easy for him. What's his percentage is? Oh, I guess 55% is pretty good, and 44 from three.
He does really look healthy. He does, look healthy.
Yeah, it looks like, and he looks like he's playing at half speed. You know, it looks. I think. I don't know. Could they be good?
I don't know, man. Like, there's obviously their picks owed somewhere. Their picks owed somewhere, like top 6 protected.
Yeah,
they shouldn't be good. They should be trying to keep that pick. But fuck. It's pretty depressing. It's pretty bad.
Did not just be like one toolsy wing away from being like comfortably getting wins?
Well, so John Hollinger had a prediction that this will be the first time, and obviously small sample, but this will be the first time we see a play-in team have 50 losses.
And he reckons it'll be the Bulls.
And after the first week of the season, he said it might be the Bulls and the Hawks.
Wow. 32 and 50.
And you make a play-in.
32 and 50, and then there's 5 teams below him.
Yeah.
No, I think his numbers are way off.
So we got the Wizards, the Nets. Who else in the East? That's bad. The Hornets.
Yeah. The Pistons.
We're only one off.
Yeah, I know, but what? So you reckon those 32 wins for the Bulls and the Hawks are all coming from the teams below them?
Nah. Yeah, true. I mean, you're the maths guy.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane if 2 teams did it.
What if one team did it?
Well, if one team did, it'd be like, fuck, a 50-loss team making the play-in. Nah, no way. Unless it was different conferences. If it was the same conference, that would actually be. I'd eat a shoe. If that happened, I would eat a shoe.
No, you don't eat shoes often. Just for the people at home.
Fuck a shoeing. I'll eat a shoe with a knife and a fork.
Tip that juice out.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the Denver Nuggets?
Yeah, big concern.
Very concerning.
Yeah.
They're 12th in offense, 20th in defense. They've won 2 overtime games, one against the Toronto Raptors, one against the fucking Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
They're actually going to lose the game in regulation against the Brooklyn Nets. But Russell Westbrook, did you see his little push?
He's rocked the baby.
He seriously, he had 22 points. It was like his only good game in a Denver Nuggets jersey.
Wait, he's been 4 games.
Yeah, but it's pretty bad. He's their major off-season acquisition.
Yeah.
But they brought him in, and then he started he got a bit chippy with Nick Claxton. Nick Claxton, he's played 4 games. He started 2 fights.
Yeah, good on him.
Which is I guess it's a long season.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Nick Claxton was pushing him and stuff, and then Westbrook came back, and then it's hit some shot over him, and then was just chatting to him, and then later on Westbrook stole a rebound, put it up, and went to the free throw line, and then Nick Claxton's talking to the ref, and Russ Westbrook was just sitting there with a massive grin on his face, catches the ball, does his little wall up and stuff, and he's like, "Shut up, man!" And then just hits the free throw.
Yeah, he hit 10 of them that game.
And then Zion Williams started picking him up full court, got a steal, and then just started chatting with Nick Claxton. Then all of a sudden, these guys are going back and forth. Well, Westbrook unfortunately won the middling role player.
Yes.
But that was a bit weird. And then there was that big flagrant foul on Scotty Barnes in the Raptors win. But then just a complete no-show against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Just really, and they lost to the Clippers. Just really, really concerning. Yeah, it was the salary dump, so they got Zion Williams in a salary dump.
Wow, that's a great deal.
It is. If the Wizards did it, you'd be like, fuck, let's have a look.
Yeah.
Great deal.
Yeah.
It's not looking good for the Denver Nuggets. Jokic hit a career high in threes. But that's always concerning because whenever we watch, especially in the playoffs, whenever we watch Nikola Jokic, he wants to do anything but shoot the three.
Yeah.
And there's just no shooters on the team. Like,
What was this in their win against the other team? Because he shot 0 threes against the Nets.
No, yeah, it's the Raptors.
Yeah. That's awesome that he uses it sparingly. And 29 points, he just gets there.
Yeah.
He just finds a way to get there and make it look very easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said major off-season acquisition about Russell Westbrook. And, with that being the case, I think when it comes to off-season acquisitions or just off-season moves, the Nuggets should just be criticised for who they're letting go.
Yeah.
You know who Westbrook is, man. You know what he's going to bring to a team.
Yeah.
Passion. What about efficiency? Why don't we try that?
Yeah.
But yeah, they've let all their pieces that have helped them make things easier for Jokic and just work well with Jokic. Actually, no. They've let their pieces that work well with Jokic and make things easier on Murray. They've let them go. Murray has now needed to pick up the slack and do his own job, and that's proven to be a task too great for it would be too great for a lot of second players. And it seems to have been too great for Murray over the past maybe 2 seasons since the ring. Which he was fucking elite in that run.
But he also wasn't asked to spread the floor as much as KCP and like Bruce Brown with like 5 assists, right? That's invaluable pretty much.
And they threw the bag at Aaron Gordon, but fucking Julian Strother's playing sizable minutes off the bench. Peyton Watson, I mean, he shot the ball 5 times in an overtime game. That's probably all you want. And he's like checking in overtime. And then Dario Saric, and then you look down the list and you don't want to play any of those other guys. And it's like, this is you read out the numbers. You're really counting on that starting lineup. And it's got Christian Brown, who was not upgraded to a starter after Bruce Brown left. And was only upgraded to a starter after KCP left, even though they would have played the same position.
No, but not on the team. This is Brown's second year.
Yeah, was he not starting in the playoffs?
No. KCP. Yeah.
Well, I fucked that up.
No, but you're right.
But he was a bench player. That was he was always that was always the plan with Christian Brown. So they've put this limitation on themselves, and if they've got the best starting lineup in the league in the first 4 games and they're 2-2 to show for it, then
it's pretty bad.
Are they going to turn it around?
They've got so many holes to fill. It's like, okay, well, you need another playmaker because Jamal Murray just can't bet that. Like, no matter how many times you give Jamal Murray the opportunity, he's always going to average 20 on the fucking dot and 4 assists. He's just not going to be that guy. Like, you need another playmaker on the court. They've obviously prioritized Michael Porter Jr., but like, it looks like, honestly, the wear and tear of all those back injuries are finally catching up to him. And like, what's he averaging? Is it like 9 points a game?
I can look it up
because there's like, he can definitely help. Like, there's opportunities for Michael Porter Jr. to pick up the slack scoring wise.
Yeah, Jokic is leading the league in points. Porter's 5th in points per game.
What's the number? 13.
Starts with the 13.
It ends with a .3. Yeah. It's just they've just let people leave and they haven't replaced them because it's really hard to replace good guys. It's really scary.
Are you hoping, as the Nuggets, are you hoping that everything stays the same and Michael Porter Jr. starts averaging 20?
No, you have to bring people in at this point. Like, you need... Dario Saric is fine. Like, he played for the Warriors last year. The Warriors got better when they stopped playing Dario Saric, right? It's like, Dario Saric, poor guy, ACL injury, but like, I don't think he's your backup center for any good team. You need a new center. I think they need a new backup point guard, but they're probably going to ride and die with Russell Westbrook. Julian Strawberry, what's he shooting from 3? Jamie, pull that up.
56% on 2 attempts a game.
2 attempts needs to go up a considerable amount, considering that's all he does. Like, he's not a defender. He's not a passer. They need more shooting. They need more facilitating, and they need a backup center.
So they pretty much need 2 extra players.
Maybe 3.
But like, all right, let's say 3 extra players. 2 of them you don't mind starting in a pinch.
Yeah.
2 of them, like, if you got 2 injuries, you're like, we'll roll with this guy because we got 2 injuries.
Yeah. Which is why I love my trade of Michael Porter Jr. to the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, take us through this, Sean.
Michael Porter Jr., Zeke Naji, Nuggets have to throw in a pick. for Dennis Schroeder and Cam Johnson.
Yeah, I'm all in.
It'd be great.
Schroeder might be the most like least sexy, least what would you say, most gettable, but like so impactful player.
Just a vet who starts.
Yeah,
he can start and come off the bench.
Yeah,
he's obviously got the weird mental stuff where he's like, I want to start everywhere I go, and it's like, brother, you're 32, like probably not. He had some quotes in the media last week where he's like, oh, I can see Brooklyn as my long-term home. It's like, well, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
You probably won't be. Like, just have a look around.
yeah. Keep an eye on
Zion Williams is like 30 minutes.
Yeah. I like it. I mean, it's exactly what they need to bring in. And I think, Michael Porter Jr. just the guy. You probably want him on your basketball team, but if you were to get rid of him and you were bring in like 2 reliable pieces and you didn't have to pay him anymore, I think he'd be pretty. I think he'd be very happy with getting off the contract.
Yeah, the Cam Johnson contract goes on just as long. They've got 2 more years after this.
But like how much less?
It's quite less. Like I think it's like 28 to 29, 21 for Cam Johnson.
Yeah. And then who else? And Zeke Nnaji,
yeah. He's got 2 more years after this
at $8,888,889.
Something insane.
Yeah. Okay, so major moves needed for the Nuggets.
Yeah, they're not going to win a title right now. Like, they were like, obviously in the offseason. The offseason is very long. People go, oh, maybe the Nuggets will be good. So I think Christian Brown is the starting 2 in this league. I think he is. I think he needs to get the volume up from 3, especially in this role. But I think he's a starting 2. He's a great defender. Good to great defender.
Yeah.
But this team's not complete. Michael Porter Jr. was the 5th best player in a title team. I don't think he's that anymore. And they're asking him to be the 4th or 3rd.
Yeah. Sidebar. But I think I'm going to start calling, whenever I think of a defender, I'm going to raise them a tier.
Yeah? What's that?
Because it's so hard to defend.
Yeah, so if you happen to have a good reputation as defending.
I'm going to just bump it up a little bit more.
Well, we don't really talk about guys that are just average. Like, who's an average defender?
Yeah, like...
Buddy Hield?
No, he'd be worse. He'd be
there's no average defenders. There's only good and bad. True. Like, Pods would be a good defender.
Yeah. And so I think he's a little bit more than good.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just something I was like, how the fuck would... There are so many good defenders that look like idiots because the offense they're coming against is just better. It's just going to be better. DeLon Wright had this great defensive possession against Peyton Pritchard at the end of the 3rd quarter, and then Pritchard pushed off him and hit this crazy 3 falling into the corner and into the sideline. It's like, what do you want a good defender to do on top of that?
It's the NBA. True. Yeah. All right, you want to talk about Wolves and Mavs?
Yeah, I was just watching the game the other day. And the Wolves were hanging with them, and it was clear that Ant was like, I fucking hate this team because they knocked us out last year.
Yeah.
And that was cool. It was like sick.
Yeah.
It's so good. Ant's gonna bring it to whoever he plays against. And the fact that he has this extra meaning for this one team is even better as a basketball fan. But it just got to the end of the 3rd quarter, and it was like, fuck, we have another quarter to go.
Yeah.
And the Mavs were like, and it was just, the gulf was very clear that that's kind of where the Wolves' good basketball ends, and that's where the top level teams' basketball just continues doing what they did for the first 3 quarters. And I think the gulf is very evident from them and the top of the West, and let's throw Boston in there as well.
Yep.
And I know they've had a huge change, not only the pieces going in, but the piece going out is probably the biggest piece. Like, losing Ant would be crushing, but in terms of what that team has been over the last 8 years, it's got to be Cat. And it happened during training camp or the night
just
before.
Yeah.
So that's a huge change.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I don't think that they really have to reshape this team mid-season, because you don't want to waste any Ant years, even though he's probably going to give you a fucking 12-year window. But I don't know. I kind of feel like this season could be a write-off.
Yeah, I'm shocked that, because we make fun of Cat a lot, I'm shocked that the spirit of the team is honestly left with him. And the whole thing was, I remember there was some anonymous GM that was just like, something, what if they delete the 3-point line? And the anonymous jam was like, if you delete the 3-point line, the Timberwolves would win the next 5 championships.
Yeah.
And someone was like, why is that? And it's like, they have 2 footers that are just big enough and mean enough, and they just knock us around. Like, the only reason we can score is because there is a 3-point line.
No shit.
Right? And it was like, oh my God, they're saying this about Cat, who's like, but it's like, Cat is a large human, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, Julius Randle, yes, he can do a lot more with the ball, not as good of a shooter, but like, you'd say he's more of a skilled basketball player than Cat, maybe, right? It's like,
find the angles more.
if you're playing pickup, you'd probably rather Julius Randle, right? But if you're playing 2K, you'd probably rather Cat, just because you can just, I guess, span the threes, and he's a tall human. But it seriously feels like they've sort of lost an identity by not having the 2 bigs. Now all of a sudden it's like, okay, you've got obviously Rudy Gobert, who's a footer, you can sit there and do everything Rudy Gobert does. But it's like Julius Randle, well, that's a hole now. And it's like, he's a hole who's not 7 foot, as opposed to Cat, who was there, who's a hole, but at least he's big. You know what I mean? So it's like, if they can, one of them can switch, one of them can stay, you're always going to have a footer underneath the paint. And there's been a big directive, it seems, from the team, and I wish I had the number in front of me, but they just want to get threes up as much as they possibly can, because that was going to be a bit of an issue with by missing Cat. And Anthony Edwards this year is shooting a lot more threes than he has in previous years, and it could be an early season thing.
Whoa, yeah, heaps. Dude, heaps.
So many heaps.
He's shooting he's attending as many threes as Michael Porter Jr. is averaging points.
Yeah, that's 13's a fucking lot.
Yeah.
And
he's shooting 42% from three.
At his age, though, the best thing Anthony Edwards can do is put pressure on the rim.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, if he's shooting 42% from 13 threes, that's great. But the Minnesota Timberwolves offense doesn't revolve around, hey, let's get Anthony Edwards open for 3. It revolves around Anthony Edwards can get around his defender and he can get to the rim. Everything collapses, everything works off of that, and it just works, right? It's their identity is in flux at the moment. And this will sort of be a test of Chris Finch, what the winningest coach in Minnesota Timberwolves history. This will seriously be a test of where it's like you might have upgraded on the roster, getting DiVincenzo and getting Julius Randle, but you need to put it together and you need to get players playing to their absolute peak. I don't know what the answer is, but this is a test for Chris Finch, I think. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I don't think his roster's complete, though.
Just to say, Ant's averaging 13 threes a game, and the Wolves are currently 24th in three-pointers attempts.
3-point attempt. Do you have a list of all stats? Can you also check assists?
Yeah, I can check assists.
Because I think that could be
17th in assists.
That's the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Because I think that's been the issue.
Yeah.
I think the playmaking has been the issue.
Yeah.
Like, who's running point?
Yeah, seriously.
Conley? I get that. But Conley's 24 minutes per game at 37.
Maybe less.
Yeah.
Holy shit. There's only been 9 people check into a game for the fucking Wolves?
Yeah, the rotation seems to be set.
That's
3 deep and then jingles sometimes.
Holy shit. But Rob Dillingham's not getting a look. Luka Garza's, I think he'll be fine as a backup center.
Why is Rob Dillingham, is there something's got to be up? It's just not up to scratch yet.
I think he's so skinny and so small that if you put him out there for a second, whoever's on the other team is like, oh, give me that little guy. He comes to the screen.
Yeah.
I think that's the issue. But Josh Minor had a good preseason, and I was like, oh, okay, like third-year dudes, like this sort of makes sense. This is when you come out as a backup wing. Leonard Miller was drafted as a guy who could make a difference, but he hasn't made a difference. But they've got to be better than Mike Conley and Joe Ingles. Like,
they need a bloke at the top of the key with the ball. So DiVincenzo,
trade for a bloke.
Let me reorder that. So Ant, Randall, and DiVincenzo can all be off the ball at the same time. And then Gobert can go and set the widest screen for any of them, and just fucking the offense can just get going. Because I feel like it looks good when Conley can do that, but it's like, fuck, you almost want Conley to like play 19 or 20 minutes a night. Start both. You want Conley to be the Zubats to Montrezl Harrell for the Clippers.
Well, and you don't want Conley to play back-to-backs. Like, you want to treat him same draft class as Al Horford, right?
Well, yeah, you want to treat him like a 37-year-old.
Seriously, yeah. You want to take as much pressure off him as possible. And DiVincenzo can't play the one. Tony Edwards maybe. Like, I don't. It's seriously. I think this is like I hate to skirt responsibility, not that it's my job, but like Chris Finch, like do something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like, okay, so the players that left the team, I think he's a great coach. I think he had a good offense and a good D. And the offense that he had Kyle Anderson, Monte Morris, and fucking Jordan McLaughlin. Remember, Monte Morris wasn't there.
There are a lot of playmakers.
All of them.
Yeah,
That's legit. All of them that aren't Mike Conley.
True, yeah, and the Kyle Anderson with Gobert all cap minutes were really good.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, so that's a huge
Kyle
one.
Anderson's, but we played him 4 minutes the other day. We don't know. Steve Kerr doesn't know how to use him, and the Wolves give me fucking Kyle Anderson. But Steve Kerr hasn't figured him out yet.
Yeah,
he played him in the Draymond role. He played him in like a spot up role. He took like a couple of corner threes like off the catch, and I was like, I've never seen him do that. This is insane.
Yeah. I feel like you guys have had a lot of those guys you can base his role off of as well.
Yeah.
Like you've had a Sean Livingston and Andre Iguodala.
Draymond Green, like you can do what Draymond Green does.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And he probably provides. Oh no, and he provide more shooting than those other guys I mentioned as well. But yeah, I think it's going to take a while. I think they need to bring in more playmaking though. They need to bring in more guys that can have the ball while their good players don't have it.
But let's see if Dillingham can do it first.
Oh yeah, well, I hope so. I feel like there was a good amount of hype around him. Like was it
eighth pick? It's like you just traded you traded like two 12-year-olds to get him. Like
classic.
Love
that.
Let's see. Like it can't be bad.
Yeah.
And if it is, stop playing him. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
John Wall's still a free agent.
Yeah, fuck
like,
yeah. I mean,
there's
don't get
fixes.
me excited.
It's just very true. I've completely forgotten about the playmaking element. That's you're so right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's everything I want to say. Is there anything you want to say?
What about the Giannis report?
Yeah, there was a report from CBS saying that if Giannis were to leave, it would be he would request a trade to the Heat or the Nets. And I think the Nets are just getting away with robbery by still being involved in that discussion.
Oh my God. I know you said Nets to me, but I said...
The Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, but then I remembered it and I was like, oh, he said Nets and Heat. He said Nets and Heat. And I was like, oh no, wait, he didn't say Nets.
But do you remember Kyrie Irving when he was crushing a trade out of Cleveland and then Boston? He said Nets as well. For some reason, everyone just wants to go to the Nets. And it's like, I understand they're in New York.
Yeah.
But they're either a really, really bad basketball team or they're fully capped out with every star ever. Like it's like Giannis, you don't want to go there right now.
Yeah.
You probably don't want to go to Miami right now. You're going to play with Terry Rozier.
Yeah. God, it's just an eyesore watching the Heat sometimes.
Seriously, man, it sucks so much.
Yeah.
But God, they're good at putting together a good basketball team.
Yeah.
What about Giannis to the Warriors?
I mean, they've already got Kyle Anderson.
True, yeah.
How would Steve Kerr use him? Offensive rebound.
Imagine like a supercharged Trace Jackson Davis. We don't need him.
Supercharged Andrew Bogut.
Bro, Trace Jackson Davis, 15 points in the paint, 7 rebounds. I can just write that for the next 60 games. It's so cool.
Yeah,
like,
you're into it. You're into TJB.
Into it. Oh, bro, I'm so into it. It's like if the matchup's bad, he won't play. Because he's just second-year dude drafted in the second round. But it's like, oh, man, like, I don't know how you're going to guard this, like, Trae Young. I was like, okay, well, we're just not going to play it.
Do you know the rapper Kyle?
Kyle...
What's his name?
No, I don't.
Do you know that bit TJB too?
Yeah. Who is this guy?
Shades of.
Who's this Kyle character?
I don't know. But I think other rappers, like hood rappers, don't like him.
Yeah.
Because I remember he like went to give someone a high five and then they were just like, nah.
Where's he from? California. 31 weird as, man.
Yeah.
See, I was worried about my eyesight, but then I just read that.
Yeah.
You know
I don't think you have to worry about it anymore.
Well, I don't know. Everything's just getting a bit blurry at that distance.
Yeah.
I can still read it.
Yeah.
Because I used to have the best eyesight. I know we're not talking about basketball anymore. I used to have the best fucking eyesight, man.
Yeah. Put it there,
now
brother.
I feel like I'm at like 90% of the capacity.
I remember I was getting tension headaches last week.
Yeah.
And like I had to leave work early on one of the days. And I went to the back room and I was like, oh yeah, my head's really hurting. And then someone was like, "Oh, you should get your eyes checked." You know, I got my eyes checked and I got glasses and it was all good. And someone else was like, "Oh, take a walk around the block, you know, get away from the screen." And someone else was like, "Oh, you should take a Panadol and just like, you know, go away from the screen."
Oh my god, 3 different things.
And I was like, "Why don't we just stop looking at the screen?"
Yeah.
That seems to be the issue for all of us.
Yeah.
Why don't we minimize that and maybe plan for that?
Yeah,
If we're going to be looking at it for 40 hours a week.
Well, more, because then you go home and look at a little screen.
Yeah, but that's different. That's leisure screen time. That's not thinking screen time.
Yeah.
I had one last sentence on the Wolves. They're top heavy, but the top isn't very heavy. And then when I pulled up Kai Cenat before, have you seen him? Have you seen his basketball league? He's like, I think like max age is 12, and then he plays with against him as well.
Why is that movie is Good Burger 2?
I think he might have starred in a movie called Good Burger 2.
Is this an entertainer?
He's just in the sequel.
Is this an
KC3.
entertainer? Or is
He's like the biggest. He's got 13 million followers on Twitch.
Wow.
He streamed with fucking Kevin Hart.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had him on his stream.
I mean, I've heard of him, but I've never seen this kind.
He's funny. He's just, you know, little entertaining guy on the internet.
Yeah, sick, bro. There's a couple of them.
Yeah. Speaking of that, we're not on basketball anymore. You care to tell the fans about your bloody marathon that you're probably going to be running while the listener is listening to this?
Yeah. Running a half marathon tomorrow while attempting to. Yeah. I don't think the donate link will be open tomorrow, but if it is, there'll be a link in the bio where you can donate if you're in the position to donate to the Asylum Seeker Research Centre.
Yeah.
But let's just wait a little sec, see if I can get to the finish line.
Yeah.
It's all about the finish.
Godspeed to you, Sean.
Thanks, mate. I'll see you at the finish line.
Yeah, I'll see you at the finish line. I can't wait, man. Perfect.
God, I would actually,
as a viewer,
I'd love to rock up and be a viewer. I'd love to rock up with beers and drink beers with my friends. I don't want to run. How funny is that?
Yeah.
We've raised $3,000.
I was going to just check that. That's huge, man.
3,100.
Congratulations.
Yeah. We got an email from ASRC that said, "Hey, saw what you guys are doing, like, love it so much. If you hit your limit, we'll give you all a care package for an ASOP care package."
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Anonymous. Do you know who that is?
No.
Oh, really?
Who is it?
I don't know.
Do you know who it is?
I don't know who it is.
Who's books at Manic?
Marco's mum.
Marco's business.
They bumped me off the leaderboard.
Yeah, I know.
God damn.
That's
rough. That's horrible news.
Yep.
Did you see my message?
Yeah.
Yeah, good message.
Good message. Go, you good thing.
No, run like hell, you fucking pigs.
Elkus. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, Elkus P.
You often do that? Thanks for donating, brother.
Yeah, of course. I've started not using my name for shit on the internet.
Call yourself Shame.
Whatever. Just like I don't know. Just something changed. I was like, why am I giving people my real name?
Yeah.
Why would I do that?
I actually love fake names on Facebook. It's so good. You don't even have to be a teacher. You can just do it. Yeah. Remember, it used to be all the teachers.
Yeah.
All the chemists.
I mean, still find them. I found Joe Danaher one time. That was weird.
What was his name?
Joy Willem Danaher. He respelled his last name.
Good.
Yeah. Flog. Tomorrow as a viewer. Can I tell you about what my day's going to be like?
Yeah.
So you're going to be running at 10:30.
Yeah.
I'm going to be waking up whenever I wake up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Going to the gym for, I reckon, a light session, maybe a little jog, a stretch and a sauna.
Should we tell the viewer what gym? And what's your address?
And then I'll just mosey on back to my place, and then it's going to be midday when you guys finish. And where you guys are finishing is like 15-minute walk from mine.
Wow, yeah.
I'll bring a fucking cooler. Maybe a vanilla Coke and then 3 beers. And you know the status of whether my shirt will be on or off at a park at midday at fucking 27 degrees.
It's a good day for a beer, bad day for a run.
Yeah.
Someone's got to run.
Yeah, see you at the bottom.
All right, Lucas, see you next time.
Yeah, see ya.
The NBA moves so quickly these days, it's hard to keep up. Shams and Woj are breaking stories left and right, but the Quick Time Out is right there with them to keep you informed on the latest NBA news. Stop in and let us break it down as it happens. Find the Quick Time Out on the Deep 2 Podcast Network.